Well guys, come a long way here. Sometimes I like to write lists down just so I can mark stuff off. These last like 5 things on here I wrote on just before I started the camera. And the reason is when you're on a project this long, you're doing it by yourself, you really need a sense of accomplishment. My little tasty treat the snail in my ear told me to get was a Celsius. I get one of these every day. Please sponsor me, Celsius. I got a lot of stuff done that you guys haven't seen. Toilets, drywalling upstairs, all kinds of stuff. Today we're going to be working on the studding part of this. Well, every day with me is the studly part of the project. So today, studding up walls, fixing electrical on the walls, probably running some lights. I got lights up in the ceiling that I got to do. It's really annoying. I'm hoping I don't have to rip a giant channel into it, but we'll see. First we're going to set up a chop saw stand. So, you know, that's what we're going to do. So for those of you who don't know, the reason I have this nice chop saw and a bunch of the new stuff that you might see coming up, like the lathe, the drill press, things, is because my parents actually ended up moving to Washington to live with my brother Zach. Wait, no, that's me. They moved to Washington to live with my brother James. Everyone's just living with their brother these days. I don't know what it's about. But my dad bequeathed to me a bunch... Is that the way you say it? He gave me a bunch of tools, and I'm very thankful. I couldn't do this without all this stuff he's given me. A lot of it he collected over years, some of it's new, like this chop saw that I could never afford, and I'm so appreciative of. You know, pay attention to my videos, Dad. You'll get to hear all about how grateful I am. Oh, he'd love this. Actually, what he would be saying is, quit clowning around and get some work done, Joe. So that's what we're going to do. Enough sappiness. We're going to get some work done, you know. We got a box in the ceiling where, as I try to avoid sticking my tape measure into it, the wall starts here and goes in. So that's right in the way. And I want a light in the pantry, so I'm going to move that, try to move it all the way over here. Now, it does have a ground, so it's a modern enough wire I can move over. I should be able to. So I'm going to start ripping some troughs into the wall, and then I'm going to basically check where all the wires go, see if I can get them to the basement, see if I can dead end them in the basement. If they're pretty easy to rip out, I'll rip them out right to the box. If not, I'm just going to put them in a box, label it, put it in a nice Romex so that, you know, if it's got a ground on it, I'll run something off in the future if I need to. If it doesn't have a ground, then I'm not going to touch it. Most likely, I'm going to take them right back to the breaker box, and I'm going to run some outlets in this wall here. I've got enough wire. I can run a dedicated one for a microwave, because that's where the microwave is going to go, is in the pantry, along with maybe we might put a coffee maker in there or a toaster oven. I just think toaster ovens and microwaves and coffee makers, they're all... Coffee makers not so much, but like the rest of them are just kind of really ugly, and I feel like in our pantry, you go and grab your cereal, you know, you make a bagel, you do whatever, you do it in there. It could stay a little messier. The kitchen, I guess the kitchen's for cooking, but you know, it's also for entertaining. I like to keep it really like clean looking. My wife said when she first came to my apartment when we first met, she seemed to think I was like a Jeffrey Dahmer type or like a serial killer. She's like, this is really creepy. It's really clean in here. There's like nothing on the counters. And I'm like, yeah, it's called cleaning. And she's like, oh, this is the one my house looks like. Yeah, so it was a wake-up call. Maybe I'm a little weird. I realize I like things looking like an operating room. Like I'm sterile, like I'm clean, stainless. Got everything down where the hallway is, and it's a little bit of a mess, but we'll get to it. I gotta get a fern coat. They left one up there and it's the wrong size. It's 1.5 copper to 1.5 PVC, so instead of getting the right one, they just tighten the hell out of the copper side. As you all know, copper's a little smaller. It's actually closer to what it says it is. PVC runs big. I think 1.5 PVC is the inside diameter. Don't quote me on it, but Anyway, it's the wrong size, so it's been leaking in the ceiling, hence all the water marks everywhere. But this stuff is just crap. I'm just gonna rip it all down. Might just come down. Well, there's some floor leveler from upstairs. There's the drains for the toilet. And there's a junction box right in the middle of the ceiling. That's nice. That's cool. I like that. Oh, yep, that comes in too. And well, we got some fun updates. The guys who retrofitted this whole ceiling and beefed it up and added wiring, they had a great idea, which is, let's put the wires underneath the drain so when it leaks, it starts a fire. Or well, maybe the water puts out the fire? I'm not sure what they were thinking, but we got to put 2 junction boxes in here. I hate exposed junction boxes, but it's got to happen. We're going to put one over there so that you'd have to walk into the pantry, turn around and see it. It'll be up in the corner. And then we're going to run a wire that doesn't have mouse chew marks in all the way over here. And it's going to be sitting in the dead space behind my fridge. The wall comes across. The fridge will be in the wall. We can take that wire, stretch it backwards, put it in. And I can always access it. It will be in a space that I'll just move the fridge out of the way and I can get to it. So fun. We're making progress. I always try to find the right words to say, and then I forget them as soon as the camera's rolling. But regardless, we've got the drywall in here. Well, the old block trick worked again. Now, we're right on with our measurements. Doesn't look parallel, but any of the gaps and cracks will get filled up by the drywall on the walls. I gotta go take lunch, but we got this piece up and that's a big step. And the next step is, that's my alarm for lunch. I gotta go take lunch and I'll be back. Drywall is my least favorite job, and Noah and Zach were actually nice enough to come over and help me pound out all the drywall and just whip it out really quickly. It was a lot of fun, and it went so much faster than I anticipated. Turns out working with 3 people actually is the best way to go. Guys, the drywall's up. That took way longer than I expected. The framing took forever because we're doing kind of a modern thing throughout this whole kitchen. The one with the windows, the framing is like almost dead nut to it being 3/4 away from where the jam extensions go, because we're doing the jam extensions without any face trim. It's a really modern look, and what you end up doing is just having a nice 3/4 bead or board of pine. It looks really, really clean and crisp, but you gotta make sure your framing's really good, and you gotta make sure your drywall works really good, because you just have your edge banding and it's clean, caulk it in. Same thing with the oven, the fridge, and the door over here. We basically went, and I think I gave myself an 1/8 to 1/4 inch of room on either side. It doesn't need to be super, super tight. I just want it to look like a crisp line. But yeah, we gotta do some archways and a lot of taping. So if I keep doing these takes, I'm never getting done. We need to focus up and get to work. Well, all of the corners are done, taped on all the way around the room. I think they looked pretty good. I have to say this stuff is really, really easy to use. I'm liking it a lot. I mean, I know obviously it's still gotta get mudded, but it goes on really, really fast. Yeah, I'm gonna go take lunch, and I'll be back to do some mudding. That'll be our next step, I think. So, mud. Oh, my back is killing me. I'm ready to go home. We got everything mudded except for the hallway and this wall here, which we might not do because I think we're gonna do like a wood paneling accent wall. Not really sure how it's gonna work with the arches, so maybe that doesn't happen. I need another thing of mud. I went through 3/4 of a 5-gallon bucket, so we're gonna need more, but there is a lot to do. I'm definitely glad I'm doing crown molding because there was enough corners in here that I was just over it. They all need a second coat of mud. You basically just, you know, for me at least, I'm not good enough to hit both sides and really get it in there, the first coat. It's not like what some guy could come in and go, and it's done. It's not me. I'm not that guy. I need to do, let it dry, and then sand it. Then we're good. But I'm getting more and more delusional by the minute. I'm going home, and I hope you guys have a good weekend. I don't even know if this is the end of the video. It's probably gonna keep going. So why am I saying goodbye? Just get it done. Well, it's been a trial, guys, but we're getting it done. Now, I gotta say, audiobooks, if you're not a fan of them, I don't know how you get anything done, because I put this in, I'm listening to David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, and this whole day has just gone by like that. I told Zach, my brother, he thought it was gonna take forever. He's kind of right, I was kind of right, you know, if a give and take sort of thing. I said 2 hours. I think I could bust out both of these out. I underestimated the framework. I've been at it since about 9:30, and it's like 1:30 now, so it's like 4 hours, so 2 hours a piece. This one went a lot faster. Little differences between them. We've still got to add edge banding to both of them. This one is a lot easier because it just flowed right down the wall. This one here, since I didn't frame it in before, I had to kind of shave the paper back and kind of add it, so when I add the edge banding, I'm going to basically add a little bit of mud behind that and then kind of use that to flow these down. When you're doing these, this is kind of what you got to do. You got to split it up, and then you can make that curve. Now this one, obviously, with that curved flat part, that's going to fit where those go down to the wall there. And on this one, they're just going to be straight ends, and they'll just go all the way to the floor. But man, guys, look at that. I'm gonna start getting these on, and I'll give you another update when we start mudding. So I planned on doing the wall here in the pantry, and I'm gonna do it all as one video. That way you can get a start to finish to see it. But the ceiling for sure I am doing now because I hate drywalling, and while I'm at it, I might as well do it. And yeah, then I'll just have all the drywall joints done, and then I can work on the pantry, and I won't have to mess with anything. It'll just be ready to go. Guys, this is a little PSA from Joe here. Unless you're a professional drywaller and you can breathe through a cigarette, you should probably be wearing a mask because this stuff is not good to breathe in. I'm doing this just to get like a quick sand on these so that I can do my final skim coat. But I'm standing above my head. These arches have so much drywall on them. I'm just covered in my face. So I'm ready to be sneezing and coughing by the end of the day, but like, I gotta get it done. I don't have any masks on me. I'm probably gonna go get some, and when I do, I'll get some stuff for the floors to fill those in. But yeah, you guys should probably be wearing masks. That might be a little bit helpful. It's all done! Yeah. I think, well, that's not true. I gotta do the corners. I'll have to maybe do a skim coat here and there. I had to hit this corner here because the other side is like a perfect curve, but this one has like a weird joint in it where you can kind of see it like stop. So I put a bunch in there. We're gonna have to wait probably like till tomorrow to hit it again. I kind of have to just do some sculpting. Up here turned out really good, and I think I gotta get a finer sandpaper because I've got the skim coat so clean on these arches, I almost don't even have to sand them. They're like really, really smooth. So I think we're just gonna get like a really fine sandpaper and just hit the ridges. I'm not even gonna go over the whole thing because I worry about if I go over the whole thing, I'm gonna get like big scratches in it. So yeah, but they're looking really good. I've just kind of sculpted corners and things. But besides that, I'm not done. The vent hood. Well, we're gonna put the vent hood here, we're gonna drywall it, and then it's gonna get either Venetian plaster or just paint. Yeah, oh well, guys. I feel like I'm out. They pulled me back in. So these are the two pockets up here where the left and right vent are gonna go. I got some big stovepipes, so we're gonna cut that and throw that in there. The big thing is that we're gonna kind of try to make sure we don't hit any of the studs or anything that are up there. I'm hoping we don't. If we do, we'll have to get creative. My plan is to kind of shove the pipes up in there, finish the framework, install both of the vent hoods, and then once that's done, kind of drywall around it. And there's a plastic like kind of film on the actual range hoods, so they shouldn't, have to worry about getting any mud on them. And this wall is pretty much done anyways, so we should be good with that. So we're gonna cut those and go for it, but prepare for a shower of rat poop. It's gonna be gross. Well, this is the last thing I have to drywall. As you can see, the arches, I think, came out really beautiful. And I am on to the next step. A lot of this is skim coated, like my dad suggested, is just do so many coats you don't have to sand. I'm not as good as he is at it, so I have a little bit of sanding to do, but it's not much. It was a great idea. I gotta kind of chamfer up edges and certain things, and that's gonna take a little minute. Same thing with the arches. I just gotta kind of go over them a little bit, take out some high spots and round over corners. But that is our next step, is sanding. And then the rest of this week is gonna be floors, priming with the quartz primer for the wall, because you gotta do that, otherwise the Venetian plaster won't stick. And then I think from there it's cabinets and countertops and painting the rest of the room. And we are making great progress, guys. I am really excited about this, and I'm so grateful to my brother for letting me stay at his house. This has been a long process, but I mean, you guys have been seeing where it's come from and where it's going, and I think we're doing a good job. I'm in love with these arches. I think these are just so cool to me. And my wife finally admitted yesterday she really likes them. They're, take a little bit of getting used to, but I think they really make the room, make everything feel very elegant. Not decadent. Decadent would be too much, but elegant, just right. So I think, unfortunately, I'm gonna drywall this, and then I gotta mask up, suit up, and we gotta start doing some sanding, which is my least favorite part, but it doesn't look like it's very much. So hopefully we'll be done quick. Well guys, I think this might be the last little bit of drywall mud that I'm gonna do. Unfortunately, there is one area where I did tape instead of the corner molding that I used on everything else, and I'm just gonna leave it and see if we can live with it once we paint it. Hopefully it will look okay. There's a couple areas where I kind of sanded into the tape a little bit, but I'm thinking, you know, enough is enough. I've put about 1 billion coats of mud on it, and it just, there's my cat, but he's saying it's time to get back to work. But I think I gotta kind of live and let live. I keep trying on this one spot in particular to make it perfect, and it's never gonna be perfect because nothing else is perfect, except for the rest of them look better, I should say. But we're gonna see if we can get all the ceilings painted, and then, yeah, onto walls of Venetian plaster. So let's get to it. Next time on Joseph Fowler Maker, we get to tackle the Venetian plaster and a little bit of painting. I'm super excited, so I'll catch you guys in the next one.